step. She thought about her friend Helena, who never complained about the sacrifices she made, as the mother of 3 children, and worried there was something wrong with her for not looking forward to a second baby. Max veered left away from the river. Miriam caught a glimpse of the Central Market hangars. About time. They were finally near the hospital. She dug her heels into the floor to steady herself for the next contraction, already whirling like a blizzard in her abdomen. Max hit the brakes. Miriam's shoulders jerked forward. Her heart sprang to her throat when she saw an olive-green tank blocking the road about 15 meters ahead of them. A red Soviet flag hung from the gun protruding from the tank, and there were clumps of men in Soviet uniforms, instantly recognizable with their blood-red collars. Joseph Stalin's Red Army. Joseph Stalin, who deported people to Siberia if they spoke out against communism or if they were wealthy. The dictator who had built and presided over a culture of mistrust and terror, one in which even children betrayed their parents. 10 months ago, Stalin had signed a non-aggression pact with Hitler, shocking for its blatant mishigas, craziness. Why would 2 countries, known for their flagrant mutual hostility, suddenly agree to be friendly? A contraction hit. Miriam folded and moaned as the pain shot through her tailbone. It waned as quickly as it had begun. She went limp in her seat, could hardly catch her breath. "Max!" Miriam clutched his arm. His muscles tensed beneath her grip. He peered over his shoulder, shifted the car into reverse, and backed up until they came to Maria Street. He turned sharply and nosed the car down the narrow road that led to Station Square in the center of Riga. She heard the frenzied voices first, before she saw hundreds of people congregated in the main square, surrounding 4 huge Soviet tanks. Shivers ran down Miriam's sternum at the sight of a man pounding the side of a tank with his fists. "Diev's padom, you goddamn Soviets!" A long-legged man bellowed at another tank on Miriam's right, about 6 meters away. Miriam raised her eyes to a unit of armed Red Army soldiers on top of the tank. They wore identical shiny helmets that gave off a menacing air. They seemed oblivious to the jeering below. "Sasodits, damn it," another man yelled, before kicking the wheels of the same tank, almost as tall as he was. She jumped in her seat when 2 Soviet tanks roared to life, their booming engines swallowing up the crowd's feverish voices as they advanced with a menacing rumble. Beads of sweat drizzled down her forehead as she saw children madly pedaling bicycles out of the square. A peddler, caught unawares, staggered to get his pushcart out of the way of a tank rolling toward him. A vendor's white and pink roses were splayed on the ground. Young boys in school uniforms darted across the square, glancing over their shoulders as if they were being chased. Then a tram appeared, a jumble of arms and legs, with passengers clinging to every inch of its exterior, even the front, blocking the driver's view. The tram parted a cluster of people on the street as it rolled along curved tracks directly toward an oncoming tank. Terror rose in Miriam's throat as the tank swerved left, head first into a knot of pedestrians, crushing them as if they were just stones on the road. Screams ricocheted through the air, blood splattered across the pavement. The tank continued without stopping, leaving a trail of bloody, flattened bodies. "My God!" Max's face went gray. Miriam's eyes burned from the ruthless glare of murder, an atrocity she wished she could unsee. Max began to back out of the square, but only made it 3 meters before the crowd blocked the car. Guttural voices burst through Miriam's open window, Russian voices. She hugged her belly. She watched, puzzled, as a column of odd-looking Latvian men walked behind a moving tank with military-like precision. Their out-of-place hip boots caught Miriam's eye. Hip boots were usually worn for fishing or heavy rain, not in a city during sunny, hot weather like today. And there was an unnerving